This is Prep Period, an all-sports podcast by the Ventura County Star and the people at VCS Preps.
Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Prep Period, the Ventura County Star's all preps, all sports podcast. My name is Dominic Massimino. He is Joe Curley. We are sports reporters here at the Ventura County Star, coming to you live once again for episode 38. Going to be a very exciting one. As you saw in the graphic, we have some champions, CIF champions, state champions joining the show today to chat with us. We've got controversy. We've got exciting news from the bat sports. We've got track records being set once again. Joe, how stoked are you for this week?
It's going to be a fun Saturday. Always awesome when you have teams playing for CIF championships. We have 3. Super excited to cover those. And we get to cover all 3.
I think we talked about it no, definitely not last episode, but we've talked about it on the pod before about what our day was like last spring. Joe and I carpooled down to SoCal or deeper into SoCal, into Irvine, Fullerton, Orange County, for a marathon day last year. We're going to do the same thing this year, 3 teams again. So it's going to be very fun. Pray for us. And hopefully we'll get an extra jolt of energy on that day. As we have taken to doing these last couple of weeks, we're going to take you through real quick our top storylines for the week. Joe, you want to start us off?
Like we just mentioned, Oxnard High softball and Grace School softball advanced to their first CIF Southern Section Championship games. The Yellow Jackets did it behind the arm of Destiny Herrera, who threw 3 shutouts in 4 playoff games. The Lancers did it with their bats, led by senior Grace McGuire, who was 8 for 13 with 2 home runs in 4 playoff games.
We found out yesterday that Agora High advanced to its first CIF Southern Section baseball final in 20 years. Joe covered that game. Chargers stuck to the script. Great pitching, rangy defense, aggressive base running, and timely hitting. Senior Donovan Anthony and freshman Zach Partee. Is that how you pronounce that? Yeah. Combined to allow 1 run in 27 postseason innings. They're playing for a CIF title on Saturday.
Rio Mesa Baseball, unfortunately, was forced to forfeit its section semifinal berth after going over the allotted number of outs for their ace, Daniel Puebla. Coach Jacob Regalago took responsibility. The Spartans had walked off Saugus with an electrifying moment in the semifinals with a 2-out RBI double from first baseman Rob Rodriguez.
And then on the track, we had CIF Southern Section Masters, and yet another Ventura County boys sprint record went down. Moorpark's Jalen Aguilar Carnes set the county record in the boys 200-meter dash in 21.01 seconds, getting under the previous record held by Camarillo's Ahmed Obed of 21.07 seconds from 2007. Remember, we had all those sprint records set in the boys 100-meter dash earlier. He came back to help set a new county 4x100-meter record as well, running the second leg of that. They go 40.68 seconds. And that is our storylines for the week.
Spring.
Snappy.
Spring. Great job, Donnie. I think we were under 2 minutes there. Nice.
I think we were. That's going to be a social media clip. Check that out.
You're going to have to fix my camera. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Where are we going? Where are you taking us?
Can you readjust me now? Is
sure.
This fine?
Yeah, I can. Anything's possible.
Never put the thing on Here we go.
You can see yourself be moved around live on camera.
Nice.
Awesome. There we go. You actually are positioned even better now on the vertical video than you were before. So look at you go.
Hence the book. Why we do it.
Speaking of Destiny Herrera, let's talk about our Ventura Orthopedic Athletes of the Week. The sophomore ace from Oxnard was dominant in the circle last week. I got to see some of that myself in the game against St. Bonaventure. helped lead the Yellow Jackets to the CIF Southern Section D4 championship game on Wednesday. She didn't allow an earned run in 11 innings. I was at this game, striking out 9 while throwing 112 of her 147 pitches for strikes. My goodness. Driving in the go-ahead run in the top of the 11th to give Oxnard a 5-4 win over St. Bonaventure in a quarterfinal game. That one was electric. Truly a game of the year candidate. She pitched a 4-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts and no walks to lead the Yellow Jackets to a tight 1-0 win over Monrovia on Saturday in the semifinals. She hasn't allowed an earned run in 30 postseason innings. What a stat. Oxnard will play Mission Viejo for the Division IV title this weekend in Irvine. We're going to be covering that live.
And then Hayden Weber, junior at Ventura High, is the boys athlete of the week. The junior shot an even par 72 at the CIF Southern Section individuals and SCGA qualifier last Thursday at River Ridge Golf Club in Oxnard to advance to the state regional qualifier. Weber fired a 67 to finish 6th out of 130 players at the CIF Southern Section Northern Regional Tournament May 11th at Los Robles Greens Golf Course. After earning all Channel League second team honors, he'll play at Los Serranos Golf Course in Chino Hills on Thursday. That's tomorrow, with a chance to advance to the state tournament. State tournament is next week at San Gabriel Country Club. Weber's scoring average this season is 72.6 for 18 holes. Slightly better than my scoring average. Which is probably 72 for 9 holes.
Peek behind the curtain. Joe, my dad loves to golf. He's retired, loves golfing, has tried to get me into it, and I have what has been diagnosed as an incurable slice. Doesn't matter. I've tried so many things. I've talked with so many people. Just no matter what happens, man. It's tough. Golf is not in my future.
I got a buddy I grew up with. His nickname is Slice. I'm going to start calling him Incurable Slice.
That's excellent. So let's pop over to the bat sports. I think probably one of our most read stories this week was yours, Joe, on this playoff controversy around Rio Mesa baseball. It's unfortunate. I am very excited to hear your thoughts on it, having reported, kind of behind the scenes, talk to Coach Ergolato over there at Rio Mesa. Just walk us through what happened. How can this take place in high school baseball? Try and answer those questions for those Spartans fans out there.
Well, I mean, obviously player safety is very important in youth baseball. Pitching safety is kind of controversial subject because, depending on your era and when you grew up playing the game, you have all kinds of different opinions on, how pitchers should train and how pitchers should be held back. But essentially what's happened where we're at right now in the CF Southern Section is you have 3 different rules that are governing how much a pitcher can pitch in every week. They can only make 3 appearances in every week, which isn't a big deal in the playoffs because you only have 2 games in a week. You're only allowed to retire 30 out. You're only allowed to get 30 outs. So, which I believe is an older rule. And then there's a new age, kind of what we do now as somebody who played the game a long time ago and now coaches it. You manage pitchers' workloads based on pitch count. And so you have to record pitch counts. You have to, and then depending on how much they pitch on a certain day, determines when they're next eligible to pitch. So you have forced rest, and you also have a maximum amount of pitches they can make in a game. Like yesterday I was covering the Agur game and Zach Partee was at 107 in the 6th. So I knew he wasn't going to pitch the 7th because he only had 3 pitches left. So you can kind of and so, that's part of the game where both coaches know the rules and they're managing against each other. You can run up a pitch count and try to get a kid out, that sort of stuff. But what appears that happened with Rio Mesa is that the Spartans, because of the way the game on Tuesday went, which was Puebla started, pitched 3 innings, which is 9 outs, and then Rob Rodriguez came in and pitched the last 4 innings, put them in, and then they get into the Friday game, the quarterfinal, and that game goes extra innings. If that game had not gone extra innings, then Pueblo would have been fine with his complete game.
Yep.
But because it goes extra innings, and he had only given up 1 hit, and I can tell as a coach, when you have a pitcher who's getting outs, you don't want to change anything. You don't, they haven't given up a run. There's no reason. The only things can only get worse, right? You essentially want to keep him in the game until the other team solves him, which I understand why he was kept in the game. But, at some point they lost the thread of how many outs that he had because of the extra inning situation. They lost the thread of how many outs he had totaled. And so the moment he got the first out of the bottom of the 8th, then the game, was decided essentially, because it meant that they would have had to forfeit the game. And, I think, it took me a long time there to describe the rules, right?
Yeah.
So things can kind of get confusing. Coaching staffs had a lot of different people. I'm sure, Coach Regalado, I thought, really handled it well. It's it's an awful situation especially for the seniors, for the team. This is a team that was hot as any team we've had in any sport this year. They'd won 15 of 16, transforming their season from, maybe not making the playoffs into 3rd place in the Channel League, and then a team that really had a chance to play for a CIF title. I kind of said flippantly after it happened that you could argue this was the only way they were going to, not win this year because they were so hot. So it's agony, I'm sure. But I thought Rio Mesa handled it super well. Once they discovered the violation, which, by the way, I didn't even catch, even though I was dealing with Santa Paula and their out numbers with Medina. I was counting outs with one team, and I really didn't think it was a big situation with the other one. It wasn't until they went to the 8th. And I think in that moment, if you don't think of it, that I could see how you could just in the moment let it not dawn on you. And then, but I have to applaud Rio Mesa for the way they handled the situation, self-reporting the violation. Coach Regalado's letter to the community, I thought, was really heartfelt, and a lot of times in these situations, people don't take the blame and they're not stand up. And I think we've known Jake for a long time. We know he's a stand-up guy, and I could say
friend of the podcast.
I know for a fact. That's right. I know for a fact that Rio Mesa wants him to remain as their head coach and wants him to be there for a long time. He's, former Rio Mesa star who has proven himself as a coach, and I'm sure he's never going to make this mistake again. I'm sure a lot of coaches in the area will not make this mistake simply because they'll have this story in the front of their mind.
Yeah. I mean, you hate for this to happen, but at the same time, think about the possible future agony for other programs that maybe will save, because in moments like that, in tense playoff games where you're thinking about anything but, the out limit, coaches will now be like, wait 1 second, we got to check this out. I was covering that game live, covered the incredible walk-off, hit from first baseman Rob Rodriguez. So much elation, after that game, and it's just so tough to, have that go away after the fact. But, so much credit to all of them. So much credit to Puebla, who just had an incredible, few games pitching, an incredible season pitching. We feel for those guys and feel for Coach too, because like you said, just a horrible situation, and he took responsibility for it. Clearly feels really bad.
I will say this. Coach will admit there's no excuse to make that mistake. I don't know why there's 3 rules. I don't know why we need now that there's a pitch limit rule. A couple coaches said this to me. I talked to a bunch of coaches, and there were some coaches that said, rules are rules. You got to know them, and and the other coaches said, I don't know why we have the outs rule.
Why specifically have the out? I mean, does that explain that to me? Does that not just penalize efficient pitchers? Like how?
I think it predates the. I think what happened is I don't know this to be a fact, but I think it predates the pitch count rule, because pre-game changer, pre-video, who's to say how many pitches a kid threw
Sure.
in a game?
Sure.
You had and so I think now that you have game changer and you have a lot more video available, there's a lot more ways to double check how many pitches a kid throws in a specific game. I think the outs rule probably was just because if without being able to confirm total pitches, you can confirm outs.
Yeah,
you know how much
counting to 20 or 30 something is a lot easier than counting to 100 and whatever.
As someone who deals with youth baseball and has a kid who plays youth baseball and has game changed on often, you miss a foul ball here and there, you miss a pitch here and there. So I think outs is more secure, but I do think it penalizes. There's no reason to penalize an efficient pitcher. So anyway. Yeah, I do think maybe the rule is outdated and maybe they can just go to the pitch count rule. So anyway, we'll see what happens going forward. But yeah, I mean, it's on the front of mind now. And covering the games this week, we were talking about Medina.
Yep.
About how many outs he would potentially have if Rio Mesa advanced. Isaac Medina, the Santa Paula ace, and then the whole time yesterday, I'm thinking, how long is how are the Agoura pitchers going to be used? Are you going to have one in one game and one in the other, which is what happened, or will there be some sort of mix and I'll have to count outs? Doesn't look like I have to count outs with Agoura. So
yeah, yes. I mean, speaking of Medina and Santa Paula, before we get to the winners, why don't I talk just real quick about Santa Paula baseball? I covered that game yesterday. Santa Paula loses 9-3 to North Torrance. This one, honestly, the way I wrote it was kind of decided early. It felt like, they get 2 outs on the board, and then Medina, who's pitching, after 4 innings of work on Friday, that helped them, clinch that victory and the first semifinals berth in 17 years, I believe it was. He just wasn't quite himself. On the mound, walked 2, and then an error at first base on a routine ground ball, scores 2 runs. Santa Paula goes down 3-0 in the first inning, and it just felt like they were kind of clawing back against a very talented team. After that, ballooned to a 7-0 lead, and then a big 4th inning at the plate for Santa Paula. They get 3 guys after being hitless through the first 3 innings. They have 3 hits in a row, get on base, score on a hit, bases loaded hit by pitch, and they manage to cut it to 7-3, and then a 2-run bomb 1 inning later from North Torrance kind of puts away any chance of a comeback. But a really young Santa Paula team, only one senior who played a real meaningful on-field part this season for them, so they'll be back, and they'll be back next year. But hats off to them. A really solid season.
Yeah, I mean, that North Torrance team, like I said, like I told you before, really tough for them to be in D7. They had, when it was 7-0 yesterday, they had scored 24 unanswered runs, which is just insane in the playoffs. And I think, I just think that was a tough matchup for Santa Paula. But kudos to the Cardinals for appearing in their second CIF semifinal under Coach Gabe.
And then, Joe, while I'm working on this over on my side, you want to talk about your Agoura, the Agoura game you covered?
So, I'm now regretting the way I wrote the lead of the story, because it should have been something about script writing, because this Agoura, maybe I'll save that for the final, because, Agoura has had a script, like we said in the storylines. They have essentially played the same game 4 times, which is aggressive on the base pass, timely hitting gets you a quick lead, pitching holds it down. They've essentially given up 2 meaningless runs. It's almost been 4 shutouts. They have not given up a run in the first 6 innings of any of their 4 playoff games.
Wow.
The 2 runs they gave up, they were up 3-0 in the quarterfinal and 3-0 in the semifinal in the seventh, just managing and getting out of the game essentially. Donovan Anthony's going to get the ball on Saturday at 1:00 at Cal State Fullerton against Miracosta, and that's their guy, Zach Partee. The amazing thing about the Segura team is you've got stars like UC Irvine-bound shortstop Braden Oliver, Tyler Starling, one of the best multi-sport athletes locally, and Donovan Anthony. Those are three seniors. They started three freshmen yesterday. They started a CIF semifinal game and did not give up a run in the first 6 innings with a freshman pitcher and a freshman catcher.
Wow.
So they are, in some respects, it's almost kind of parallel storylines where you've got the senior class that's had a rough 4 years, finishing strong and getting to the promised land, and putting kind of an awesome chapter on the end of a rough 4 years, and then you have this new group with a first-year head coach and all these freshmen that are just kind of starting to get going. And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting thing that Aguirre's got going on. And they've been playing, I mean, this is classic Southern California baseball. They have rangy outfielders. They have really slick infielders. They have a catcher who's literally called Dirt. I mean, how can you not love this baseball team? So, they play Miracosta on Saturday. Last time Aguirre was in CIF final, they lost the Division I championship game to Lakewood in 2006. So 20 years later, they're back in a CIF final, and they've earned it. I mean, they've played. And what does it say about the Mermani League? That the 5th place team in the Mermani League, it goes back to what we talk about football and basketball and soccer and every sport. The 4th or 5th place team in the Mermani League is all in this playoff system by CIF is always going to be super dangerous in the playoffs. If you could sneak in, look at TO. If TO is in D2, they might still be playing too.
Yep. So. Yeah, well put. It's something we talk about in damn near every sport too. I mean, right? It's if you can be that last team in an at-large bid out of the Mermani League, like you're usually going to do some damage in one of those lower divisions.
And then going over to softball now, I think you covered that Oxnard St. Bonaventure softball game. The winner of that game was going to be the favorite. St. Bonaventure winning Division IV last year with that offense. That was potentially a CIF championship game. Oxnard they have their own formula. They've got Herrera on the mound, 3 shutouts in 4 playoff games. They made 7 errors against St. Bonaventure, which is why she gave up 4 runs against St. Bonaventure. Without the errors, who knows, against that awesome, she held down that awesome St. Bonaventure batting lineup. And then, we have to mention Rachel Godoy, who had a home run to get them there. She's been kind of the just enough offense. She's had 2 homers. She's hitting .642 in the postseason with a 1285 slugging average. It's like an goodness. OPS of almost 2,000. So they've been phenomenal. And then obviously Grace. They inning ruled their first 2 opponents, Buena Park and Crean Lutheran. They had to come back, and then they had 2 awesome comebacks. They came down from 3-0 down to beat Shadow Hills in the quarterfinals, and then 6-0 down to win 16-10 against Europa Hills Patriot at home, hitting 3 home runs. And Grace McGuire gets on base 5 times, goes 4 for 4. So phenomenal softball team. We'll see if they can get the job done on Saturday.
Grace from Grace. That's seems like it's just meant to be. We are, and speaking of which, it looks like it's still admitting our first guest of the show. Here we go. Grace, can you hear us?
There she is.
Yeah.
That's perfect, and literally perfect timing. Joe was just talking about you.
Oh.
So,
of course, why would I not be?
So, first off, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Our first question for you is a simple one. How often do people ask you whether you picked your high school by your first name?
I feel like mostly I always get like, oh, Grace from Grace, like, isn't that funny? But I mean, I don't know. It was
Pretty funny.
when I
It is
first
pretty
started
funny.
going there, it was Grace Brethren, but now it's just Grace. So
So you were the one that changed the name. They changed the name for McGuire. Went from Brethren to McGuire.
yeah.
Grace, you've had an incredible 4-year career with the Lancers. Put into words what it's going to mean for you to play in a CIF final on Saturday, 10 a.m. Get to play at Manning Stadium where all these great games have taken place. What I don't know. How excited are
Sorry,
you for
it
Saturday?
keeps cutting out.
Oh, it's okay. Here, try again, Joe. See if we can. Is it the audio or the video or both?
It was both, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
didn't
you're coming
have any
through
issues on our
clear.
end.
Yeah, you're coming through clear on our end.
So as long as you understand. So
Sure, I'm
going
gonna
back to.
move
Okay.
Smart.
somewhere else so this works. Sorry.
Good call.
No problem.
Let me go in
Get the tour.
here. Yeah.
Are we closer to the
Okay.
router? Maybe.
Yeah. This
Nice.
should be better.
Nice.
Maybe shut the doors behind you.
Oh,
Joe's
well.
Joe's the Wi-Fi expert.
That's my thing.
Grace, we've had Joe's camera has cut out a bunch of times on us in the past.
Yeah.
So we've learned
I'm
all the
just-
tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
Just glad I haven't frozen today yet. We jinxed it. We definitely jinxed it.
No.
So so Grace, you've had an incredible 4-year career for Grace Brethren. Just what does it mean for you knowing you're going to be playing for a CIF title in that uniform with your friends on Saturday morning down in Irvine?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, every year I've wanted to go the whole way, and this year going the whole way, I mean, we're here, might as well win it.
Like that. You guys have had great playoff runs before, but you've never, what do you think has kept you? Well, what's the difference this year? How come you think you've made it this far this year and the last 3 years, there was bumps or, you didn't quite make it?
Yeah, I feel like in the past years there's been like just a couple of things. I think this year we're definitely more buttoned up. We've been practicing harder. Coach Heidi is, I mean, she's a great coach, and just her helping the team has been everything. And I think girls being receptive to coaching and just having each other's backs and wanting to play for each other has been kind of like the key to all of this. So
You guys are similar to this Agur team, the baseball team we were just talking about, where you have these key seniors, but then there's these really promising freshmen. What's the dynamic on the team with you and your classmates, and then Eden Turo and some of the younger players that are coming in ready to kind of take over, the legacy of your program?
yeah, the freshman class is great. They've definitely played a big part. I think, I don't know if they knew what they were getting themselves into, but I feel like they're definitely really happy with where they are, and I'm very proud of them. And I've been trying my best to mentor them, and they're very receptive and just great teammates to have.
Grace, you had a.
So
I was just looking through your stats, your season stats here, and something absolutely crazy popped out to me. You had a series of 5 games from March 13th through March 17th, so 5 games in 4 days. It looks like, where you homered in every single one of those games, 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
2 losses, 3 wins, and you had a homer in every game. Just talk about your approach a little bit at the plate and kind of how you have managed to string together so many homers in a row, but just your approach this whole season.
Yeah, I mean, my approach really never changes. I like to keep everything simple. I just you keep it simple. You can't really go wrong. Get my foot down, keep my hands through the ball, swing at good pitches. I just like to keep the mentality that people have to beat me, and I'm not gonna beat myself. I feel like when I struggle, I'm beating myself, and just not trying to do too much. I'm really always just trying to hit line drives up the middle. And home runs happen from that, so yeah.
Definitely.
When you got power, you run into home runs, Dom.
Yep. I wouldn't know anything about that, man. I wouldn't know anything about that.
So, you're committed to Nevada, and what went into that commitment? What you're excited. What tell us about your how that developed and your thoughts about moving on and playing at the Division I level. And I think we have some local stars on that Nevada team too. Let me look at the roster here.
Yeah. Basically, Coach Victoria Hayward reached out to me. I went on a visit and realized, wow, I really love this place. I think Coach Hayward is amazing. I'm so excited to play under her, and Coach Aaliyah and everyone else. And it was just really a community that I was like, wow, like I want to be a part of this. Like, I want to get it done. I want to do the job. And I mean, it's always been my dream to play at the Division I level, and to be able to kind of join like a rising up team. Like, I'm really excited to put in the work and just be there for my team. And yeah.
Did you ever get to hit against Ainsley Berlingeri, the former Camarillo ace that is one of the
No, I
pitchers
did
there?
not. Yeah, but she's
Okay.
from Camarillo, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did she have any part in your recruiting? Did you go up there and see her when you visited, or?
Yeah, I met all the girls, yeah.
And then what about your position at the next level? You're playing shortstop now in high school, but are you more of a third baseman, or what's your
No,
position?
I'm actually recruited for playing outfield, and I
so
only
slugger.
play outfield. Yeah.
So what's it like playing shortstop in high school when you're really an outfielder then?
I mean, to me, it's like I need to be the piece that my team needs, and that's where they need me. So, just being a complete athlete and not being prideful and just learning how to get the job done. And yeah, I mean, it's fun and I like it. I just like softball. So playing anywhere, I'm like, I love it.
Always trying to hit line drives up the middle, plays whatever position her team needs. Your coach has got to love you.
That's awesome. Like a 500 hitter lifetime with like 25 moments. We have to talk about Saturday. Have that. I mean, I'm sure you played some ridiculously crazy softball games in your life, but where does, down 6 to start the game, score the last 6 runs of the game, 16-10, at home with a crazy crowd, and going 4 for 4 with and being on base all day, where does that rank with some of the crazy games that you've ever played?
I mean, looking back at that, I'm definitely happy for myself. I knew that's kind of what I needed to do. And I mean, I was just trying to not make the moment bigger than it was and just keep with the same stuff. And yeah, it didn't really seem like different. I mean, it was a big game, but just keeping the game the same.
Yeah, I mean, what was the dugout like when you were down 6-0 in the third inning there?
It was kind of really the same. We've been in that situation a lot of times before, and like I just tell my teammates, well, look at what inning it is. We have 6 more innings to play. We have 5 more innings to play. Like, that's a lot of game. And I mean, yeah, you can't let that game go to waste. You can't let them just have the rest of the game just because they got up.
And then what was it like being on that field in that 6th inning where you guys have battled back to tie it 8? 3 of your teammates have homered.
Yeah.
You battled back to tie it at 8-8 and then 10-10, and then the dam breaks in that bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. It was definitely what we needed. We just needed to keep hitting with them, and then to out hit them was obviously the goal. So yeah, I was really proud of my teammates.
Dom, it's Burns double, freshman Salazar homer,
Yeah.
Fiola single, Zaley single, and there's a fly out. Then actually, you got intentionally walked.
Yes.
You got the Barry Bonds treatment there.
Yeah.
And then Tuso single, then senior Salazar homer, to put him up to end the game at 16-10. Essentially,
Wow.
Both Salazar sisters homered in the same inning.
Yeah, that was really
Super
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a way to go. Grace, thank you so much for joining us. I think I speak for both Joe and myself when I say we are very excited for Saturday.
Thank you.
And yeah, go get him.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
See you Saturday morning. Looking forward to it. Got to see
See
some
you.
hits.
Yep.
Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Good luck.
That was great. Awesome. Grace McGuire from Grace.
Grace
joining
from Grace.
the show.
I put the brakes on. I almost said bye, Grace from Grace. But
the voice that Grace did when she was impersonating people who do the Grace from Grace bit, I was like, damn, that's what we sounded like.
That's what we did. That's literally what I did to her. I was interviewing her after the game the other day.
She was doing her best Joe Curley impression.
She's great. Yeah. No, she was a good sport.
That's awesome.
Let me see if I can.
I have texted our link out to all of our guests. I have not heard back, so I think we just keep on going, keep on chatting. And
do you want to talk a little bit about state track?
I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. I'll do a little CIF Masters track recap. So the great Derry Eads, the Deuce, wrote our story so that I could have a day off. Thanks, Derry. Let's start with in honor of the Deuce, let's start with the Deuce's stat of the week that kind of relates to this. This has been a sort of an evergreen stat of the week, but it continues to be incredible to me. 7 of the area's top 10 all-time marks in the boys 100-meter dash have come in the last 5 years, many of which have been this season. And you can extend that even to the 200 meters with Jalen Aguilar-Carnes setting that Ventura County record at this meet. But yeah, some truly incredible stuff. It started off with Moorpark and Aguilar-Carnes just doing crazy things in that boys 4x100 meter relay. It was a record a Ventura County record that stood for all of 1 week. Was Newbury Park's 4x100 record that we talked about last week, and Moorpark just blasts away, gets I think 0.15 seconds underneath that record, which in a 4x1 is really substantial. So those were the two big records set. And then you had Oaks Christian freshman Sterling White in the 3,200 meters qualifying for state, dipping under that 9-minute barrier in the boys 2 mile, the 3,200 meters, which set an all-time freshman state record. He was the first to get under. I believe that record stood for something like 40 or 50 years before he broke it. So truly incredible stuff from him. So those are kind of the big storylines coming out of the meet. You have Camilla Peltonen, the freshman at Moorpark, qualifies for state in her freshman season in both the 200 and the 400. The highlight reel season continues for Davis Benson from Moorpark. He qualifies in 4 different events: the 110 meter hurdles, the 4x1, the long jump, and the high jump. He's going to scratch the high jump, it looks like. So he's competing in 3 events this coming weekend.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah, just incredible. I mean, putting the county on notice as a potential boys track athlete of the year candidate. Just really, really incredible. Benson's teammate Dean Guzman, who we've had on the show, who cleared 7 feet this season, joins Thatcher's Rafa Kelleher as state qualifiers. Caleb Romeo from from Thousand Oaks, threatened a 29-year-old county record in the boys 400, running 47:39 to place fourth, just 0.2 of a second off the record shared by Camarillo's Matt Lay, set in 1997, and Oaks Christian's Chase Hansen from 2024. You had Gianni Gonzalez from, yet again, Moore Park. I mean, the story that I wrote on Moore Park Track and Field continues to be proven to be true. I'm glad we wrote that. She moved to number 7 on the county all-time list in the girls' long jump with a 19-foot 5-inch personal best, career best. And then Thousand Oaks again in the boys 4x400 meter relay, the last event of the day, ran the county's third fastest time ever, ran 3:14.99. So think about it like this, Joe. 3:20, 3 minutes 20 seconds is 50-second laps, 50 seconds per leg. So anytime that you get under 3:20 means your team is averaging in the 49s, 48s, 47s. Right. 3:14.99 is 5 seconds under. That's like averaging 49 high. Or 48 high, that is. Just crazy stuff.
Derry, or go ahead, finish what?
Yeah. Just gonna shout out. Lastly, I mean the boys' sprints were crazy yet again. We had some times that would have been county records if there wasn't like essentially a hurricane of wind at their backs for a tailwind. It was like plus 4 meters per second, double the legal limit wind, but. Jaden Griffin of Newbury Park goes 10:36, Kingston Salifi of Calabasas 10:37, and Jalen Aguilar Carnes 10:40 in that boys 100-meter race. You were saying, what was Derry saying?
Just trying to get our next
I got
person.
you.
But Derry had a couple mentions. He mentioned Tyler Starling's track season ends.
Yep.
So the 4x4 Agora relay team. So his track season ends, but he still's got a baseball game on Saturday. So he's now a single sport athlete rather than a three sport athlete.
Yeah.
And then Derry actually went through and mentioned all the locals in the NCAA regionals. And he said Anthony Fasthorse's name popped up. The former Ventura runner has a 1500. His personal best is 340.29. He goes, which equates to a 357 mile.
Mm-hmm.
And Valentina Bacroa from UCLA, second best high jump mark among the qualifiers in the West region at 6 feet, 2.75. Paige Summers is among the qualifiers in the pole vault. I think action starts today for some of the NCAA regionals. And we also have Colin Solomon and Price Edwards. And also someone named Englehart, he said. What's up, Chase?
So the title of
what's up, man? How you doing?
The title of today's shows today's episode was Champions Are Joining the Show. We have our first champion here, CIF champion Chase McLeod from Oaks Christian Boys Lacrosse. Thanks for joining. Chase, do you mind moving this is a weird request, but do you mind just flipping it sideways? There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, I got it.
That's great.
Is that better? It's not flipping on mine.
That is perfect. Yeah, you're right.
Cool.
You're right on target. So, I mean, it's been a little while since you guys won that title, but I'm sure you've been basking in the glory. Just how cool has it felt coming off of that, having the second title for Oaks Christian lacrosse in 3 years?
Yeah, I just want to start by thanking you guys for having me on. But about your question, it's great, man. It's been a fun week. Just every day, every time I see one of the fellows at school, it's great emotions. It's all smiles. And for me to go out that way as a senior, nothing better than that.
Yeah, you guys beat Dana Hills. I think it was 16-11. Is that the final? And you had a hand in 10 of those goals. Just your mindset. As being kind of the centerpiece of the offense, with and having that partnership with Greg DeGroot. Going into a CIF championship game against a defense that's going to be set up to stop you. Just what was your mindset and how you're able to score 7 goals and assist 3 others with a title on the line?
Yeah, man. I have total and complete faith in Coach Sean Lindsay and his game plan every time we go into a game. So we always are able to adjust on the fly if we need to. Between our 2 sets, if I'm getting a lock, I can always go behind the gauge and set picks. But I'm always confident going into our games because of the great coaching here at Oaks Christian and the great guys around me too. Like Greg plays a crucial role. We were missing Alex Taponini in the championship, but he is an amazing Dodger too. Yeah, and Amani was out as well. But I mean, when guys go down, guys step up. Like two of my assists in the chip were to Bronson Jones, who might not always be on the stat sheet, but he'd always making an impact on the field. So knowing I can just get it to other guys if I need to, that's always great to know. And yeah.
So we'll talk about Sean in a second. We'll talk about your coaches here in a second. We're going to try to go a little bit. I think it's our first boys lacrosse.
Yeah, we had
we
had Lauren Reed on from Royal talking about their undefeated season. But yeah,
nice.
first boys athlete.
So we'll try to just teach the audience a little bit about this sport. And obviously one of the key figures on a team is the face-off specialist. You guys, no better example of how much a FOGO face-off go-off can impact a game than what Trent Milan did in the championship game, winning what we think was 28 of 29.
Yeah, dominant at the X, completely dominant.
Explain to people who maybe don't know the game what that does for a team and how that helped you guys.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it, but the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of winning at the X is you're going to get more possessions, you're going to get more opportunities to score. So starting the season without Trent, our defense would get so tired because we'd lose a face-off and then we'd have to keep playing defense and we wouldn't be able to clear effectively. So adding him into the lineup and, we talk about him as a FOGO, but he's really face-off, stay on. He does so much for this team. And he'll face off, and for people who don't know, after every goal, knowing we're gonna get the ball again is it's a great feeling. So
and he ripped one from distance. He scored. I think he scored 2 goals in the game.
Two.
Yeah, just one nice goal. Yeah,
unstoppable. The guy's a monster. Seriously.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine just the mentality, like you said. I mean, the sigh of relief just knowing it's like, all right, let's go do it again.
Yeah, no. So here's a funny story. After our first Westlake game, we lost 19-2. That was our first Westlake game in league. We didn't have Trent at the time because of transfer rules. But, I remember telling people after that game, I was like, I really think we're going to have a competitive game next time because we got Trent at the X and we're going to be able to get the ball, and I feel like we can work with this defense. Didn't pull it out, but we did a lot better.
But it was competitive. Yeah, it was more competitive. Yeah. So you weren't wrong.
Yeah. Nah.
What other sports did you play growing up in the Conejo Valley, and what how did lacrosse be the sport that you gravitated to? What about it that why are you a lax player?
Yeah, I played everything growing up. I played baseball as a kid. I played football in middle school, tackle football, and then I played NPBA basketball. But, I mean, lacrosse was always my favorite just because of how it blends, kind of finesse and physicality. It's so much like basketball with the way the offense are set up and the way people are constantly moving, cutting, distance shooting, close up. And it's so much like football in the fact that, you're hunting people out there and you can get put on the ground pretty easy if you're running around with your head cut off. So I always loved that it blends my 2 favorite things about sports and the competitive nature of lacrosse in this area. It's getting better every year. So that's why I always loved it.
That's awesome. I have never heard a better advertisement for the sport of lacrosse than that right there. That got me fired up.
You're
Thank you,
from
man.
lacrosse. You're
I'm-
from lacrosse.
I can't-
Mecca,
I
bro.
can't lie. I played a year. I played a year of lacrosse when I was growing up, and
Uh-huh.
Chase says running around with your head cut off. That was me. That was me when I was. I got hit a couple times. I'm like, nah. I think I'm cool watching this sport instead of playing.
Stick down. You went
Yeah,
from
you're
running
good,
with
man.
the stick in your hand to running without the stick.
Yep. Yep.
And then you mentioned Sean Lindsay. So you got to play with two local, coaching legends. Jeff Siebold, who's the director of lacrosse at Oaks, is one of the people that kind of helped. The fact that lacrosse is even here is partially because of Jeff and his work at the grassroots and his work at very budding. He coached at Newbury, he coached at Lorena, elsewhere I think too. So Jeff's part of the reason why lacrosse even exists at the high school level here.
For sure.
And then Sean Lindsay, former All-American at Syracuse, and just you cannot talk lacrosse with Coach Lindsay and not want to play it. I mean, he is the ultimate lacrosse missionary. And so, there's a reason, he sees the game. There's, he's obviously a phenomenal coach at Agura, and is now taking over the Oaks program as the head coach. Just what did you get out of these last couple of years with him in kind of a supportive role, and what do you think this program is going to look like going forward with Coach Lindsay at the helm?
Yeah, before I get into that, I just want to also give a quick shout out to somebody we picked up this year, Will Lyman. He came in as a defensive coordinator, and
defender.
Yeah, we only had 3 returning starting defenders this year, and we won a CIF championship. So,
wow,
you can't really get much better than that on defense. We really improved. But going back to what you said with Coach Siebold and Coach Lindsay, playing with them has been nothing short of amazing. Jeff, I've known my entire life. My same with Sean, but Jeff from earlier age because he coached my brother at Oaks. And then Sean, I've worked with my entire life as well with the Mavs, and both of them are incredible coaches. Going forward, the program, the thing I expect most is we're going to start scheduling a lot more competitive games. I feel like Coach Sean has a policy of scheduling Loyola every year since he's gotten here. So, the boys are gonna get some good comp every year from now going on, and you can't ask for anything better than that. I love playing teams at a high level because it raises your level of competition. So, the boys they got a bright future ahead of them, and I think we're gonna be a D1 contender these next couple of years. Next decade, we're gonna only keep growing. The kids coming in are elite, by the way. The middle schoolers coming in with all the club stuff. We're gonna continue to improve every year. So we're just setting the foundation right now with these D3 championships.
That's a proud alumni. That's a proud alumni speaking right there of the program,
Very proud,
Joe.
very proud.
And like you said,
Christian on the upswing, ready to take Westlake's belt.
Dude, if we were healthy this year, we had them.
He's fired up.
I was
2 great programs.
It was 7-7 going into half of that one. I was like, gosh, I wish we had a couple more of these guys because we were missing Alex, we were missing Greg. I'm not trying to make excuses.
He's catching himself.
Westlake guys listening, by the way. But dude, I'm just saying.
2 CIF titles, and he's always.
Yeah. Hey, we win championships on my program.
Talking smack on the pod. Hey, Chase, really appreciate you coming on, man. This was awesome, and awesome for the listeners to get to learn a little bit about what is a sport that's getting exploding out here, especially in the Valley. So, congratulations again, and hope you guys keep celebrating in the halls when you see each other. You earned it.
Of course. Yeah, every time.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
Chase.
man.
Congrats. We'll be in touch.
Okay, later.
Awesome. And the hits keep hitting because we got not just a CIF champion, but a state champion coming on the pod right now. Hey, Megan, can you hear us okay?
Hi.
There she is.
Yeah.
What's up?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's been
Not as good as you.
yeah, not quite as good as Megan. It's been, I think, a year since we last talked for your Star Swimmer of the Year feature. One of my favorite stories that I wrote that season, getting to hear about your process and everything. And here we are a year later, and you got a lot more hardware around your neck, including a state title in the 100 back. Just, I mean, what an exciting year for you. How fun has it been to just, make those memories and be crowned as the top swimmer in your event in California?
It's been so fun. Like, I mean, all of high school season has been like pretty laid back, pretty chill, and I think it like really allowed me to like calm down before like most of my races. So I really learned how to like not stress about it, and so that was really fun for me. And like obviously like winning state was like it was crazy. Like I had my coach like Sebastian there and like hyping me up. It was crazy fun. Yeah.
And something we talked about last year was how special that first CIF title in the 100 back was for you. You'd finished second your freshman year, you finished second your sophomore year, and then you reached the promised land and won that CIF title. And there's kind of the parallel now, right? Because you were second in the state in that event last year, and you come back and win it this year. Like,
Yeah.
just like tell me about kind of that incremental growth and the feeling of going from runner up and runner up to touching the side of the pool first.
It was really cool having like to get better like every year or like better my placement every year. Um, because it like really showed that like all the hours that I spent like going to practice and like lifting weights and all of that, like it really like paid off. And um my runner up last year for state, I was already like over the moon. I was like so happy because that was like such a big improvement from like the previous years. So I thought that was really nice. I thought it was like really like I would say like gratifying in a sense, or like I'm just like proud of myself for doing that. And so I went into this year thinking that like, oh, well, I got second last year, like why not get first?
Why
Because
not?
I've been like, yeah,
Why
like why
not?
not? Because
Indeed.
I've put in the work, I've like improved in on myself. So I went into it thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get first, but it's not gonna be easy, but I still did it.
So
That's awesome.
how hard was it? Bring us through the actual swim.
Mm.
You go through the prelims and you kind of won the prelim, but then there was an issue with the touch pad, and so the
Yeah.
swimmer from up north that you kind of battled with, she ended up being awarded the prelim, and then not
Mhm.
that matters or anything, but
Yeah.
and then what do you remember about being on the blocks, or actually the way you start is different in backstroke, but like the beginning of the race and any sort of strategy and just your memories of that less than 1 minute that changes the course of your legacy.
I know that's crazy to think about. But um so it was like divided, prelims were on Friday and like states were on Saturday. So I went into prelims knowing that I was going to make finals. Like I was seated first from the CIF times. So I was at a pretty comfortable position, and I had like enough confidence in myself to be like, okay, I know I have enough to make it to finals. That's all I really need. Because at the end of the day, like the person who wins finals wins the event. So
Right.
I didn't really like it didn't really bother me that I didn't have the best race ever during prelims and finished first during prelims. But it's still like um it was still very like nerve-wracking, like, oh, what if I like get disqualified in prelims and I can't swim at finals? But like I had enough like confidence in myself to really like focus on my race. And then finals came around and my nerves were like over the roof. Like they were like sky high. Like it was so bad. And I tried calming myself down by like listening to music and just like talking my coach's ear off. I was just yapping the whole time. But yeah, it really helped at the end. And even though I wasn't the first going into finals, I knew I was gonna be first eventually. So that really helped me uh swim the fastest swim I've ever swam. So yeah.
And you had, I think it was like a second and a half on the whole field, except for Linares, Daniela
Yeah.
Linares Danzos of San Ramon Valley, who's the other kind of her foil in that race. And when we talked the next day, I think if I remember right, when you touched, you weren't quite sure if you had touched first or you knew it was pretty close. Like, what do you remember about like the last like 10 yards of the race?
Oh, okay. So I went into the race knowing that I had a really strong first half, like the first 50.
Mm,
I knew how to go out, and she had a really strong back half. So I knew that, and I was like a little like scared about it, like, oh, maybe she's gonna catch me on that second half. And so what I did was just I spanned my underwaters. I saw her like next to me, and I was like ahead the whole race, but it was still like in the back of my head, like, oh, she's gonna pick this up, so I have to go faster. Like,
Yeah.
so I really like I gave it my all, especially that last 10 yards when I was seeing stars. Like I was just running on pure adrenaline. I The only thing that was going in my head was, okay, I just need to do ABC. I just need to nail my underwaters and I just need to nail my finish because everything is already like I've already done this 100 times before.
Yeah, done all the
So
work.
I already did the work. It's already like in my head. Like I know how to do it. I just need to execute it, and I did that. So all I had to do was execute and just push through. And it only lasted like 5 seconds. So.
touch that dang wall. So you, oh, I'm getting a little,
Here we got a little echo.
echo. Do you have? Is it maybe the sound maybe is coming out of? Oh, there we go. Perfect. I can't hear myself anymore. So you join not only a schoolmate but a classmate. I've heard from Joe as state champions at Newbury Park. Just
Yes.
two female athletes in two team sports that are also individual sports. You guys are out there on your own. You both win titles. You and Madison Black, the wrestler. What's the kind of hype level, with you two both bringing, state titles back to Newbury Park and, getting to hang out in the same class together?
I say it's pretty hype. Like, it's also like really empowering how Maddie and I are one of the few state champions and we're both girls.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really nice and it like really brings more attention to like girls sports in high school. Like we can beat the guys, like we're better. I don't want to say we're better, but like we're state champs. So I thought
That's
that
right.
was really like cool and like pretty hype. And I remember both of us signed on the same day. So we went to the signing ceremony and we were both in the center because we had like the same table and then everyone else was guys. But it's really cool to know that um we I, we put in the work and we deserve to be on that table just as much as everyone else. And I think the state champ thing really solidified that. And yeah.
Damn straight.
Have you had AP Gov class since you came back from state? I know you were out of town last week.
Yeah.
Have you been in class with her? I guess you guys sit next to each other.
Kind of, yeah. Like we sit like she's like a row away from me, so we're like pretty close. Yeah, I had AP Gov today, so It was my first time. It was my first time going to the class after states and everything. And then she like said congrats, and then we had like it was really nice. Like it felt really like she understood me and like I understood her. Like we understand like the work we put in and the outcome of it. So it was really nice.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
those
Well
are two
put.
sports where you've got to put a ton of, I mean, you got to work in every sport, right? But the amount of work a swimmer puts into her body to be able to take it out when when you prepare for finals and trying to get your absolute fastest, Maddie, the amount of work that, Madison explained all the work that she does to not just get strong, but also get fit and be able to overcome her opponent in the third round. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about two very hardworking women bringing back the ultimate high school award. So that's a really cool thing that you guys are. I think it's the only two state champions in the county this year in anything.
Yep.
We had Pacifica football lose a state final.
Runner up, yeah.
What a senior class for Newbury Park too.
Crazy. Yeah, my goodness. I love that idea that you put out there, Megan, of you guys are, in very different sports, but you kind of speak the same language of the work, you know what I mean? Like you get each other. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Well put.
Very cool. And then oh god.
Oh no, I was just saying thank you. Sorry.
And then you're headed to San Diego, right?
Yes.
With another local swimmer. You and is it Agura's?
Sophia.
Yeah, Sophia Goff is. You guys are going to be teammates.
That's so cool.
Yeah, tell us about that decision. I mean, obviously a phenomenal school and a great athletic department. What went into that decision to head to UCSD?
I think I've always liked the campus UCSC had, and like I really am like academics driven. So for my major, like biology, UCSD had a really good program. So that really um influenced my decision. But I also like we went to like a recruiting trips and all that stuff, and I really like the team environment. So it's all about like it's not always about, oh, where's the fastest school I can go to or like what's the best school for this sport. It's about like what's the best school for me and like what team environment really fits me the best. And it ended up being UCSD, and I'm so happy and I'm so excited that it ended up being UCSD for Sophia too, because we're both teammates currently in our club sports,
Mm.
and she's like one of my best friends. So I'm really excited. I'm
That's so
going
cool.
into like yeah, like I'm so excited I could spend another like 4 years with her because she really pushes me to like be the best person and the best swimmer I can. So yeah,
What a cool story.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
Teammates, rivals, teammates, and teammates again. I love it.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Megan. This was so
Thank you.
cool and so great to talk to you about, what so few people get to do, win a state championship here in California. So congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be in touch.
Oh, of course.
More work to do. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
What a great show, man. So many awesome guests today. That was Megan Wong. Joe, you got anything else you want to plug? We are 71 minutes into this podcast.
My bad.
No, you're good.
We are. We have a very busy Saturday, so make sure you go to vcstar.com and follow along live as Dom and I cover at 10 a.m. Grace Brethren's Division 5 softball championship game.
Mm-hmm.
At 1 o'clock, Agura's Division 3 baseball championship game.
That is impressive. You have the
And 4
divisions off the
o'clock.
dome. That's awesome.
I skipped one of the opponents because I've already flubbed that. And then Oxnard playing in the Division
4.
I'm now seeing you jinx me 4.
I got you. That's the one I knew.
You did on 4 o'clock, Division 4 at 4 o'clock, and also we'll have all the updates from CIF State Track on that live. So follow us live. We'll have all kinds of coverage, video. Go to vcstart.com right now for video from all 3 Bat Sport CF champions. We're going to have some Grace McGuire highlights and some home runs, and all kinds of Rachel Godoy's home run as well should be on there soon, and I'll do a video cut of all the video I took yesterday at the Agoura baseball game. So a lot of video for me to break down and post later today and tomorrow. So vcstar.com, VCS Preps on all your socials, and we will see you on a very busy Saturday.
Subscribe to the show on YouTube if you're watching live. It really, really helps us. We're racking up the subscribers and would love for you to join that list. And yeah, keep an eye out. I'm going to do a short preview with some of the top storylines at this state track meet sometime this week. So keep an eye out on the site for that. Awesome.
There we go.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us, guys. Until next time.
It comes down to this for Thousand Oaks in their season. It is a gift to Martin. Martin gets the first down and more. It's a nice little screen to the left-hand side. One play, and see ya later. Caldera dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Oxnard. What a fitting way to end that run. He's at the 40. He's at the 20.